let's move on to our second main topic today. Chris, what is our second main topic today?
Second topic is coming from Vincent Da Baller. Hey, John, not sure if you saw the article in Variety, but it looks like Disney is getting a bunch of Fox's film projects they had in the pipeline and sent all their Marvel comic character stuff to Feige to oversee despite everything they said over the last year. The article says it all came about as a result of Fox losing Disney over $170 million in just one quarter. What do you guys make of this, and what are the potential consequences?
Okay. I mean, this is obviously the topic of the day. I mean, this is the topic of the day. Every once in a while, studios will make a reverse. I have never seen Disney do such an about face and reversal of course and strategy as we have right now. Put this into context, okay? It wasn't even a year ago that Bob Iger said, yeah, we're going to keep doing Deadpool. It's fine. We can do some R-rated stuff. To avoid confusion, we're going to have it under a different label, different brand, blah, blah, blah. At CinemaCon just 6 months ago, Alan Horn, the High Lord Chief of all movies at Disney, he's the movie boss at Disney. He runs all the movie studios there. He's on stage highlighting not only Deadpool, but highlighting this big Fox graphic here's some of the Fox movies that we're going to continue on with. And under the big Fox brand, Avatar, Deadpool, I believe Planet of the Apes is when they first announced they were going to do more Planet of the Apes and all that kind of stuff. Just then, and talking about how they're so excited to continue on into the future, this robust lineup, a big robust lineup for Fox Studios, to which they also brought out the Fox chairman, or co-chair, Emma Watt came out talking about what a glorious future is going to be and what a difference almost 6 months and almost $200 million in losses make. Here's the story that comes out right now. Disney CEO Bob Iger told Wall Street analysts on Tuesday during Disney's quarterly earnings that the Fox's superhero titles would move forward under the stewardship of Kevin Feige. Not a big surprise. We already knew that about, X-Men and stuff like that, but this is including Deadpool now. So this is a new thing. Would move forward under the stewardship of Feige. Disney is also, this is the other big thing, axing the majority of the existing Fox film development slate and refocusing output after the studio posted a $170 million operating loss in Disney's fiscal third quarter. One of the biggest issues was the Fox studio performance, which was well below where it had been and well below where we hoped it would be when we made the acquisition, said Bob Iger. So within this one story, there are a couple of major tectonic, major seismic shifts in Disney's overall policy and strategy regarding Fox. From April of 2019, yay, yay, Fox, rah, rah, Fox, to we're gutting most of the projects they have in development. Even the things we were going to leave under them as far as the comic book materials go, even the stuff we were going to leave under there, we're taking that all away. This is a massive, massive reversal of everything they had been talking about, again, from High Lord and Emperor Bob Iger himself. Now, this brings up a couple of things that we need to keep in mind. Number one, first thing that came to my mind was, Bob Iger isn't a guy who thinks 2 or 3 moves ahead. Bob Iger is a guy who thinks 5 years ahead. There's a part of me that's got to believe that maybe this was the plan all along. Then there's a part of me that thinks, well, why not just stay quiet at CinemaCon, at something like that? Why not just stay quiet and talk about Star Wars and talk about the MCU? Instead, they spent the majority of Disney's presentation talking about rah, rah, Fox, rah, rah, Fox. Look at these great little social media posts from Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, folks, huh? Deadpool's coming back. Why spend all that time and energy when all you had to do is just not say anything and talk about other stuff? Now, Rob, I spoke to a mutual acquaintance of ours, who is let's just say he's deeply embedded in the Hollywood system, who believes that both are kind of true. They believe that there was a lot of debate going on within the hallowed halls of Disney about what do we do with Fox? Do we gut it? Do we go full-fledged ahead with it? And he seemed to suggest to me that the overall feeling was that just by a margin, they decided, no, let's just keep Fox as it is and let's go with this full, robust Fox, and that it wasn't going to take much to nudge them the other way. Posting a nearly $200 million loss could do that. But even for something as big as nearly a $200 million loss, Rob, I got to say, that still seems kind of abrupt for somebody like a Bob Iger. We wouldn't consider it abrupt if it was coming out of Warner Brothers or something like that, who can be a little bit more reactionary. For Bob Iger, that seems a little bit abrupt. So, I don't know, Rob, you're looking at this, you're hearing the different sides. What do you think are the possibilities, and ultimately, where do you land on this? How do you think this all came about?
Well, first of all, look, I've dreamt of one day making a movie with the 20th Century Fox logo in front of it, with the Fox fanfare. You know, growing up loving Star Wars and Alien and all of these things, you can't not love the 20th Century Fox logo and the brand. However, that said, I think Disney they were of two minds. When they first brought in Fox, when we were at CinemaCon, the merger was in the process of being wrapped up. Everybody wanted to know what's going on. Certainly the exhibitors did. So they were putting on the best case scenario face. But now they also,
I like that best case scenario face.
Best
I like
case
that.
scenario face. You know, that's what they had on, and they were all excited. Now, if X-Men: Dark Phoenix perform beyond expectations, if it was $1 billion movie, they move on, they continue on, or which I think they knew because of projections and tracking numbers, this is kind of what they knew was going to happen. They hoped for the best, but now their course correction is what I think they'd been planning on always. This way, they are no longer beholden to anybody at Fox. They're beholden to nobody who ever worked there. They've obviously been laying off people and getting rid of who was redundant. But now they have their excuse. We lost $170 million. So,
in one quarter.
In one quarter. So, Fox, we gave you a shot. You got your quarter, even though it really wasn't. It was weighted. The game was rigged, as it always is, against Fox. But now they can do whatever they want. Bob Iger can do whatever he wants. He can make the moves he wants. I mean, look, we all knew, like you said, Marvel was going to get all of the old Marvel properties that Fox owned under their own umbrella. Well, now they can just come out and say it. And now they can do whatever the hell they want. They've still got Oscar bait movies like Ford versus Ferrari coming out. That looks amazing.
Awesome. Looks
I can't
so
wait to
good.
see it. I think that movie's going to make a lot of money. But it really now, Disney can spend as much as they want marketing the film. They're like, look, we're not going to market it the way we were going to. We now can mitigate our losses. They can now do whatever they want because they were given an excuse. And that's the way I look at it. Look, I hope they keep the Fox brand alive. I really do. I would miss the 20th Century Fox logo. I think they should keep it so they can make R-rated movies. But then again, look at Disney's year. They've, 8 movies, and 6 of them are going to make $1 billion? I mean, you can't argue with that. And if they do away with the Fox brand entirely to stick with what they're doing now, I understand. I'm not going to like it, but I get it.
And you know, what you're saying is exactly the same thing I heard from the one source of mine, that they don't believe Fox is going to be even a brand a year from now. They think the brand itself may be gone at this point. And I think you bring up a really good point, Rob, that I don't think we should just gloss over, and that's this. I think you are 100% right when you said, hey, if X-Men Dark Phoenix had made $1 billion, hell, $800 million. If X-Men Dark Phoenix made $800 million, I don't think we're having this conversation.
No.
I think that would have been enough to make that no, let's keep things at Fox. I think it would have maintained the status quo, and I don't think we're having this conversation. I think Deadpool remains under Fox. I think all these films that Fox had slated to do are still intact. Maybe they're on a short lease, and maybe that would have changed again, changed later, a year from now or 2 years from now. But the fact of the matter is, Disney just spent $71 billion to buy Fox. They are making billion-dollar film after billion-dollar film. They don't like it as to be recognized or to be associated with their brand. A quarter loss of a couple of $100 million? It just changes things entirely. And from massive amounts of films being cut to now Deadpool is going to be under Kevin Feige's purview. Now, it should be pointed out here that I am assuming this means that Deadpool is going to be in the MCU. I suppose you could make the argument that, hey, just because it's under Feige's direction now doesn't necessarily mean that Feige can't have him off under another label. I concede that. That's possible. But I think the more obvious answer is that they've just decided, you know what, let's just go with what works for us and let's just bring Deadpool over and all that kind of stuff. What does that mean for the rating of Deadpool and how they're going to handle the character? Well, that's for another topic here in just a second. But this is a massive move. This is a massive move that very well could lead to the end of one of the most iconic brands in Hollywood history. And again, reemphasizes one of my worries when I was finding out that Fox was going to be taken over by Disney, that we were going to become more homogenized in the comic book movies that we get, more homogenized in the Disney brand, less and less different types of films like we were getting from Fox. Instead, now Disney's just going to have them focus on the Disney kind of movies. These are the things you guys laughed at me when I said I'm cheering for Comcast to win this Fox thing, and you guys laughed at me, but this is the exact reason why. This is the exact reason why I was cheering for Comcast. Because I think hell or high water, Rob, I think Comcast was going to keep Fox intact, operating the things, giving us the different types of movies that they give us. And now what we're seeing is my worst fears about this are coming true. Well, Disney homogenized.
There's one other thing. They said they're going to keep Fox Searchlight intact.
Yes, which I'm so glad you brought that up because that's a major thing.
I mean, Fox Searchlight, of course, was a division of Fox, their indie division, headed up by people like Nancy Utley. They've had a great, very stable group of executives that have run Fox Searchlight for a long time. They have an incredible track record of making great choices in terms of acquisitions and movies that they're going to be involved in. A lot of Oscars over at Fox Searchlight. They have a great group of people there, and they say that they're going to keep Fox Searchlight. And I actually think that, look, Ford versus Ferrari could be a very important film when it comes to the future of the Fox brand. If Ford versus Ferrari comes out, if they spend the money to market the movie, and if it gets some Oscar attention in terms of you got great actors, James Mangold directing, it might be the one, it could be the life preserver that keeps Fox as a brand afloat at Disney. I hope so.
All right, guys, the question is, what do you think about this massive reversal on Disney's front? Do you think this is exciting? Do you think this is troubling? Do you think this is shocking? Do you think this is really no surprise at all? Jump down to the comment section below. I want to know what you guys have to think about that. All right, we need to move on to our next topic here.